Hello, it's Ben here from Skoog with a quick introduction to iMusic today. You might notice that it's a slightly different backdrop. I'm having to run this from my home to work off-site today, so hopefully this won't affect the speed of the connection, etc. So yeah, I'm just going to do a quick introduction to iMusic, a run through the features. If you've got any questions, please use the Q&A app in Google Hang and just type your questions in and I will get to them. Because iMusic is a whole screen takeover, so it takes over the whole screen, when I'm actually using the software, I won't be able to answer questions immediately, but what I'll do is I'll keep checking out of the full screen mode so I can see if there's any questions. But what I plan to do is just to open up iMusic, show you how it works, show you how to get it set up, and give you a couple of examples of how it's going to operate. So it'll be the last you're seeing of me, and hopefully what you will see is iMusic from the desktop. So I'm going to go and do a screen share now, and I'm going to share my desktop. Start screen share, there we go. Now I'm going to just scoot this off to the side. So now if there are any questions, I can see them pop up as and when they do. And I'm going to go to iMusic. Now, here we go. This is iMusic. So iMusic is a musical instrument, a Skoog musical instrument. So it uses various things like expressive physical modeling, and also the interface is based around the kind of Skoog principle of presenting a simplified interface that still allows control of expressive parameters of sound, but also providing you an interface which is limited in some ways, but actually it makes it more playable. So here we've got, this is the main screen for iMusic, and these circles on the center here, that's the screen player. That's what we use to make sound. So each of these circles, 5 together are the screen player, and by moving the cursor into them or across them, you're able to activate the sound. Now, there's no sound at the moment from iMusic because I'm starting off with it as you would start with it, with the sound off in the demo mode. One thing I want to point out first, and quite importantly, is down here on the right-hand side, if I just move over here, is a small show, hide, help buttons. Now, all of the elements of iMusic operate using dwell to click. So I just need to place the cursor over that, and there we go. Now this, what this does is bring up a short information bubble on all of the active elements of the screen. In this mode, you can't actually make any sounds, you can't play the screen player, that's disabled, but you can navigate the software. So first thing I would do, if you're getting into this, is engage this information mode and have a look around at what we've got. So let's go to the audio page up here. Now, this is a separate page where if I've made a recording, I can save and edit that recording, view it, play parts of it back, and do different things there. And if I just click this tab here to navigate around, each of these tabs at the side navigates me to a different setup part of the iMusic player. This here is the instrument section. So this is where I can choose different instrument sounds. Now in the demo version, there will be just flute and vibes available. For some reason, vibes seems to have lost its name tag there. I'll need to have a look at that. And to select a sound, I simply dwell over that, but it won't activate in the information mode because you can't interact with it. You can only navigate the software in the information mode. You can't actually interact with it. So there's all the instruments. And then let's go down here to the Skoog settings. So this is actually a part of the software where if you have a physical Skoog, you don't need it to use iMusic, but you can actually control it using the iMusic software. And then the most important part of these tabs here, really, and this one, I must say. So down here is the control of sound, on and off, volume, and a record button. I'll just dwell on that and move it around. One thing we have noticed on a few systems, depending on the Windows system you're using, you may have the software does operate via dwell, but sometimes when it first starts up, you may need to do a mouse click or two on a couple of buttons there seems to be some kind of bug where it doesn't initially recognize dwell, but if you click once, then suddenly it picks that up. So I'm going to remove the information bubbles. Just saying, so this is where you edit your user preferences. This is where you can choose the notes for the screen player. Remember, it's these colored circles. We can add effects here. And this is very important when we change the audio drive settings. That's where we're going to start. So I'm going to turn that off now. Okay. And the first thing you need to do is to check your audio setup. Now, all of you should hopefully have received some support information. I'm sorry it took a little while to get that going, but we now have a process in line to help you get set up with the Windows Audio. So I'm doing this on a Mac today, so it's slightly different, but all you have to do to get your audio set up is to make sure that you have the right driver selected and the right output device in order to get sound. There's in the support email that comes out to you is a small PDF that you can download that walks you through the different settings that you can choose. Hopefully, I mean, the software should make a best attempt at setting these automatically for you, and hopefully that will work. And once you have it set up correctly, you just need to make sure you click this Save Settings button. Okay, so first off, let's turn on the sound. So I navigate to the sound on and off. There we go, and I just make sure, hover over that. It's this button here. 12 to click. There we go. Put that away, and now I am able to make sounds. An important thing with the screenplay, this is on marimba at the moment, is the small circles are quiet and the large circles are louder. And this gives you a range of expressive playing with your Skoog instrument here. Okay, so we have sound. So if I didn't have sound, if I was clicking here and there was no sound, that's when I would navigate to the audio settings, and then I would change the settings so I can fix what's going on. So now I need to just have a look at the user settings up here. So this is where I can choose things in reference to the response. I can make it a bit more responsive. I can adjust the dwell time and also the repeat time. For all of these menus that have a kind of a slider notion or a number of choices, if I dwell on it, you can see it actually repeats. And that's the dwell repeat time. This is actually set quite high, so I'm actually going to increase that a bit, I think, to 600 milliseconds. Yeah, that gives me it's a bit easier to interact with there. So that I can change the user settings. Here I can change the notes. Now in the demo mode, you don't have any control. You can only use the notes that it's supplied with, but you can change the scales in all kinds of ways, octaves, tonics. You can change the mode and use all kinds of different presets. We'll have a look at those a bit later. So here we are, we're set up and we're making some sound. I'm just going to navigate out to check there haven't been any questions. No questions yet. That's fine. So going back to iMusic, here we are. So first thing to do after having got sound, so now I've successfully got sound, there we go, I'm going to change instrument. I'm going to go on to the flute here because there's a couple of things I'd like to show you on that. And let's dwell to, there we go. Now, first thing I'd like to do now is to add some effects. Open the effects tab, and there's 4 different types of effect that we can add. We can add reverb. I can turn that on. So we can choose a different style of reverb. It's quite nice, quite spacey. I can add some delay. Whoa. Quite like that. You can add a phaser. Yeah. So you can see you can add some effects to change the kind of the timbre qualities of the instruments that you've got. And in demo mode, that gives you a bit more to work with over and above the 2 instruments that it's shut down to on the demo mode. So what you have now is a 5-note instrument like a Skoog. You know, like the Skoog is 5-sided. that you can play using the cursor. Now, the other important thing to note is that we've added a guided access mode, and that means that by pressing the H key, we can hide all of these menus and setup options so that we can focus on playing. So if I click the H key on the keyboard, now you can see all I have is the screen player. And actually, for a lot of systems, this would improve the response. And then in order to come out of the guided access mode, I simply pressed H on the keyboard again. It's a toggle function, H to engage, H to switch off. So as with Skoog, and as with many musical instruments, we have a way of making sound. Another thing that you might want to play around with is in the user settings, you can add some overlay modes to the interface. So dynamic 1, this gives me some lines. Now this I find really useful with eyegaze to help with some additional feedback. There's another mode here with more, stronger lines, dynamic 2. This is the one that I prefer, yeah. I find this really useful when using eyegaze with the system. Again, it's a cursor control with dwell to click. So yes, it works well with eyegaze, but will also work with head trackers, and it will also just work with cursor control. And then there's a final one, which is dots. Now, again, these are just to help give you an additional focal point for the eyes, help navigate around, where we're really keen to get some feedback on how you find these and which ones you feel are working best. So please do get in touch about that. So now we have our interface to play with. Notes. So notes, we can change the tonic of the scale, so like A, B, C, D, E, F, and we simply, again, to dwell, to click, to change, and I'm going to cycle round to C major again. Sharp A. There we go. Oh, here it comes. There we go. C major. I can make it lower. Make it higher. And the notes they follow a similar setup to the normal kind of Skoog protocol, with red being the lowest in the scale, then blue, yellow, green, up to orange, and down again. Okay. You can change the mode to different types of scale. There we go. And that gives you a great deal of flexibility. And you can also use different presets. We've got major, we've got minor, we've got harmonic, and we've got some more exotic presets. We've got Japanese there. There we go. So there's really a lot of flexibility in the software, but the core thing with it is it's an instrument. So it's a device for making sounds with your computer, and then ideally then you use those sounds to make music with or engage with other people or with other music. And a lot of initially, a lot of people want to be able to play with music that they like. So one thing I'd like to show you now, point out to you, and give you an example before we finish, of an activity that we can do. Here we are. Is if I go to Safari, my web browser, and I go to the Skoog Music site. Here we go, skoogmusic.com. And you'll find that down at the footer of our page here we are, there's resources. Now, many of these will be compatible with iMusic, because there will be pentatonic-based resources for use for the Skoog. I'm going to suggest you go to Top Tunes. I'm going to go to Popular Tunes. And there's a range of different tunes that have been Skoogified. They've been had notes done, their keys been worked out what key it's in, so you can set your Skoog up to play with it. And one of the tunes here is in C major. So it's Private Eyes by Hall & Oates. It's an old 80s tune. But the reason I focus on that is that That's the first one on the list here that's in C major. Now, the demo version of iMusic limits you to certain notes, and one of the scale is I in C major. So if I select this now, there we go, then it says, you know, I can improvise by going C major, and then I click the YouTube link. That will take me to the song. Now, I already have the song set up in another window somewhere. I believe it's here. There we go. Oh, maybe I don't. Window. Oh, I thought I was sure I did. No, I'll need to. Well, I will need to open it then. I think we're going to have to. So we'll have to let it buffer up. Here we go. And we're going to have to turn. Oh, they're already turned on. There we go. So we have to go through an ad here. So I'm just going to pause that. So what I've done now is I've gone to the Skoog Music Resources. I've selected the tune I want to play with. If you're using the demo version of software, you'll only be able to play along with C major tunes that are in C major. So just essentially have a scroll through, and you can see from the front panel here it has a little indication of the scale. So we could play that one. We could play that one, Sam Smith. We could play Super Trooper by ABBA. We could play Girl You'll Be a Woman Soon by Neil Diamond. We could play, what else could we play? All sorts. Let It Be, The Beatles, Killer Joe, Quincy Jones. Anyway, I'm going to go back to what I've selected, which is this. And so if I click play on that, that will start playing the tune. Hopefully you can hear it. It's not too distorted. And this is just playing through the speakers on my laptop. And now if I go back to iMusic now, I should be able to play along. Notice that I slipped out of the right mode there when I was changing the presets. So now okay. So I just got stuck a bit there. Right, let's close this down. Let's get, there we go. But I hope that gives you an idea of the range of different things you could do it in terms of sound. It's a really adaptable device for making sound with, an instrument. And then hopefully it's about finding ways that you can apply that in the classroom or with your students. We have some teachers now using it at Braidburn School and Oakland's near us, and they've been working with Skoog tactile instruments and iMusic, and been doing a color-based follow the leader game, which has been peer-led. That's been very useful. You can use it for kind of sensory work in terms of really trying to focus on trying to aim for different colors, sounds. So there's lots that you can do, but essentially it's a tunable pentatonic instrument with a range of different sounds that you can make with it, and lots of tweaking you can do to the scales to get different notes and stuff out of it, but with an expressive and hopefully eye gaze friendly interface. So I'm going to close the software down now. And in order to close it down, we go up to the right hand here, click here, and it says, do you want to close software? I say, yes, I do. Importantly, if you want to upgrade from your demonstration copy, you can do that. Let's just get rid of the screen share here. Yeah, so if you want to upgrade your presentation copy, you can do that by following the link on our website. Just a second, Danny. I'm just speaking to some people online. I'm going to be 2 seconds. Can you wait? And if you wait just 2 seconds, then I'll be back there. So I'm looking after my. Come and say hello to the people. Come and say hello to the people. Here we go. This is Bo. Say hello.
Hello.
This is Bo. So I'm looking after Bo today. This is why I'm presenting from a slightly different venue. And you've not been well, have you?
Yeah.
You've been a bit not well, so I've been looking after you, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm better.
And you're a bit better now, are you?
Mm-hmm.
You're feeling a bit better. So she's feeling a bit better, and hopefully that hasn't interrupted this webinar too much. But I'm going to, well, if there's no more questions, and I can't see any questions, I'm going to bring this webinar to a close today. So should we say goodbye to the people? Okay.
Bye.
Bye. And remember, if you want to upgrade your demo copy of iMusic, you can do that from, go to our website, go to suppliers. Also, one last thing to show you. I'll just pop you down, darling, to show people one last thing. In the software, let's start iMusic again. Something I've not shown you. So before I go, let me just shut these things down. So I'm just starting the software, and I'm going to go into a screen sharing mode again. And then I'm going to go, what is she doing? Bo, can you wait for me just a second there, darling? She's playing with the cat. So I'm just waiting for, here we go, iMusic starting. Let's do a quick screen share. And let's bring that out. So there we go, desktop. Okay, start screen share. Great, so you can see us now. So another thing that I forgot to mention is up here on the iMusic tab, if you select that, there we go. There's a link in here. Oh, I've upgraded this version on mine, but there's a link in that tab that will take you to the suppliers part of our website. And it's not on my version because I've upgraded, but you should find that information there. And also at the footer of emails and support information that we sent out to you. Thanks very much for watching this webinar, and I do hope to see you all online again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.